Good afternoon and good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome, and it's truly an honor and great to have you here with us today. Firstly, a big congratulations to all the winners from the IAF Awards, if you are here with us today. But otherwise, as a quick bio introduction, my name is Kareem, and I'll be facilitating our session today with my colleague Rohit. And we have a really practical and hands-on time for you today, and I think it'll just leave you a genuine sense of the different features and abilities you can run away with GroupMap from today. So I guess before we get into that, I'll just like to hand over to my colleague Rohit, who is going to give you a brief overview of GroupMap in terms of what it is, how it works, and the thinking behind it. So hopefully, Rohit, I hand that over to you and go from there. And by all means, if anyone does have any questions at all, please put them in the chat. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. A big congratulations to our IAF Awards winners. We're so excited to have you here. My name is Rohit and I'm part of the customer success team at GroupMap. Today, to kick off our workshop, I'm excited to give you a quick overview of GroupMap to make sure we're ready for the activity. I'll be walking you through the basics of the service, what it does, and how you can use it to supercharge your facilitation. Then I'll be handing over to my colleague Kareem for a demo of GroupMap and its features in action. With that said, let's begin. So what is GroupMap? Well, at its core, GroupMap is an online brainstorming and facilitation tool with a built-in AI co-facilitator. The core problem all of us have is simple. Making meetings effective is challenging. Getting a group to share ideas clearly, organize them meaningfully, and actually act on them is much harder in practice than it looks on paper. GroupMap solves for this by giving everyone a structured visual space to contribute at the same time, safely and without that usual noise. This helps the facilitator solve a host of collaboration challenges, such as quieter voices not being heard, dominant voices shaping the conversation too heavily, and the challenge of organizing scattered ideas, just to name a few. So how does GroupMap tackle the problem of making meetings effective? Well, there are a few key areas to explore here, and as we go through them, you'll begin to see that it's primarily a matter of guided and intentional preparation and presentation. Let's start with what you can see here. These are GroupMap's map styles. Now, there are 4 main styles, and each one gives the conversation a different kind of working space. Lists are great for quick idea capture, especially if people are joining on mobile. Mind maps help people expand and connect thinking from a central idea outward. Charts let you compare ideas across dimensions, which is really useful for prioritization or for decision making. And lastly, canvases give you a more structured environment for guided activities, things like design thinking or SWOT analysis. Now, the goal is always to choose the format that best supports how you want people to contribute and discuss, and to have maps on hand for every type of discussion. Now, of course, once you choose the right style, the next question is how to shape it for the specific conversation you're going to have. Now, GroupMap answers this with templates. We have over 80 ready-to-use templates across all 4 map types, so facilitators can start with a structure that already fits the activity. You search, select, and customize all before going live. What's more, if you've built something that works well for your team, you can save it as your own reusable template and come back to it for reuse. So with this structure in place, we've solved the first of our problems. But how does GroupMap help facilitators make sense of the information that emerges? Now, these next few slides are where GroupMap really modernizes facilitation. Our AI features are built in to support the facilitator's process, especially when there is a lot of input to organize and interpret. Now, to be clear from the outset, GroupMap's AI is not here to replace facilitator judgment. It's here to reveal patterns faster and give facilitators more space to focus on the conversation. So let's begin with the feature you see on the screen. This is AI grouping. Once your participants have contributed ideas, our AI looks at everything submitted and suggests groupings of similar ideas. Instead of carefully having to sort through 50 responses to find and categorize ideas that seem way too diverse, the AI gives you that starting point within seconds, helping you spot patterns and themes much faster from which you can build. Now, once these ideas are captured and organized, the next facilitation challenge is interpretation. What is the group really saying? Well, in the results stage, facilitators can use AI chat to analyze, summarize, expand, or explore the group's input using natural language prompts. For example, a facilitator could ask, what are the main themes from this workshop? In the example on the slide, you can see how AI was used to capture the core themes from a SWOT analysis we did in a previous live workshop on the superhero Spider-Man. Sure enough, the AI combed through many varying ideas and returned a simple summary of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats participants contributed to the discussion. Now, with that, you have an understanding of the fundamentals we'll be encountering in the upcoming demo. For more details, I'll have my colleague share a link to our help documentation from which you can go deeper. Now, as cool as all of these features are, they only matter if the service behind them is reliable. That's why, above all else, GroupMap is built to be a tool you as a facilitator can depend on. We've been helping teams think better together since 2012. We work with everyone from individuals to enterprises to make every type of meeting more inclusive and outcome-focused. Our customers use GroupMap across a wide range of use cases. Now, to explore the examples on the screen, including Paulo Martinez there on the top left, who has previously won Platinum at the IAF Facilitation Impact Awards, do visit the GroupMap blog, which I'll have my colleague share. And with that, you have the core picture of GroupMap: structure for contribution, AI-supported sense-making, and clearer pathways to action. Now, from here, we'll be showing you exactly what this looks like in practice, so you can see how these utilities come together to serve you within GroupMap. Before we jump into the demo, I have noticed that we have had some questions in the chat, and thank you, Kareem, for getting to those. I guess we can collect a few more of those questions. We'll also collect any points that we'd want Kareem to make sure he covers. I'm happy to open it up briefly at this moment for answering a few questions. You can see we've got a few more coming through there. In the meantime, what I'll do is sign off on my end. I'll be here for questions as they come up, but I'll be handing over to Kareem to showcase GroupMap in action.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rohit. Before I jump in, there is a question in there from Meg who's saying if there is a limit on how many people who can contribute to the session. So a great question there, Meg. GroupMap is primarily based on a license plan. So you, depending on the plan, on the license plan you choose or subscription plan you choose, you potentially will have a limit on how many participants you can have in a single map or workspace. You can have up to 50, 100, 200, or unlimited, depending on the plan you go with. But by all means, if you do have any questions around that, please reach out to us, or as my colleague has suggested there, all our plans and licenses are on the website there. Thank you very much. Any other questions around that? So with the enterprise plan, which is the maximum plan, there is no limit on the number of people you can invite. So it will be, you will be able to host as many participants as you need throughout your sessions. No worries. Alrighty. So final question there, and then it looks like you can use GroupMap for face-to-face and online. That is correct. So because GroupMap is an online tool, you'll have the ability to do a hybrid situation where you can either do this face-to-face and invite participants in, or do it online as well by sending them an invite code, which I will be sharing very soon as well. So out of curiosity, just there in the chat, has anyone ever used GroupMap before at all, or is this the first time you'll be seeing it?
Looks like we do have some folks sending thumbs up, so we do have some people familiar.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll very quickly show you what GroupMap is and how you can use it very quickly before we jump into activity, just to get an idea and show you how you can on your own as well start off by creating your first map and workspace. So very quickly, this is what GroupMap's UI and homepage will look like. You will be able to see a list of all the different maps or workspaces you have recently opened, but then you are also they are categorized by workspaces and maps that you had previously opened and created or potentially closed off. So you'll always have the full history of the sessions that you have run with your colleagues. And it's very simple, whether you wanted to create a map or workspace, the buttons are right on top. So if you wanted to create a map, you can choose from the different range of categories and maps that Rohit had showcased earlier today. And you can choose from these depending on the exercise or session that you want to run with your team. All you need to do is just select the template and customize it the way you need, whether it's a specific design, whether you want it to include different steps, and whether you want it to include additional features on the side. It's a very simple step-by-step process that you can follow through the help guide that was sent earlier today. If not, I'll quickly jump into our activity for today. So, over the next 30 minutes or so, we're just going to work through around 6 different collaborative activities together using GroupMap. And in this case, you'll actually be participating, so not just watching or listening. So you just get a feel for how it works as well, based on looking at it, how it sees from the facilitator point of view and as a participant point of view. And the theme we'll be using today is around superheroes, as you know, and we're just going to try and design one of our own as a group today. And the topic today is just a vehicle, but I just want you to pay attention to the different facilitation techniques and process that we undertake in this throughout this whole process. So let's get into it. The first one here is enter the origin story. And what I'll do is I'll quickly invite you all in as contributors, and I'll send the link in the chat there. So I'll just give you all a couple minutes to join, and let me know if you run into any issues at all. But as you can see, when you wanted to invite a person, a contributor, or a facilitator, there are multiple ways of doing so. Whether you wanted to use a QR code if you're doing it face-to-face, or whether you wanted to send out a link to in bulk to different participants to join online. Just wait a couple more people. I can see the people already coming in. So please let me know if you are having any issues with joining, and we'll start off with the first activity. So what I want you to do today is just tap onto the map over there. In this case, I'm in Australia, so I'm just going to put my name, and just place your name roughly next to where you're actually joining in with us today. Whether you're all the way in the States, in Africa, Europe, wherever you are, let us know. Amazing. Thank you, Jason. Kai, see you in Australia as well. Amazing. Hill, Jeremy, Joe, amazing in the Philippines. Michael, thank you very much. Amazing. And hello, Tiffany. Amazing. So this is just a quick activity just to see where people are actually joining us from. As you can see, facilitation does have a global influence, so it's really good to see all of you coming in and joining us from all over the world today. So thank you for taking the time out. Now, one of the things we can potentially do in GroupMap as well is provide a consent step. So this is not necessarily a given or forced thing. It's more something we potentially can recommend to facilitators to put in a consent step, just to make sure that everyone is consensual and available and free to just provide and willing to provide their details and submissions. So in this case, I will accept, but if people are happy to do so, I'll bring you all into this step just so you can submit your responses and hopefully consent to providing your details for today. Are we all going all good on otherwise? Beautiful. Alrighty. And just as a way of understanding what everyone is trying to get, hope to get out of today, I'll also then bring you into the survey step. So I just put together a couple very short answer questions to just better understand what you're hoping to get out today and what you want to see as well. So by all means, please go ahead and put in your answers there, and happy to see where we go from there. A neat feature as well, as a facilitator, I can as well show a timer, so I can potentially give, roughly 2 minutes over here. as a 2-minute timer, and we'll see how long we go.
While we're waiting there, Kareem, I think we've got a
Yeah.
pretty interesting question come through
Yeah.
from Kai, which is, what happens when someone doesn't consent?
Amazing. Great question, Kai. So when someone doesn't consent, that is something that is raised to the facilitator, and something you would potentially need to reach out to that participant themselves. In which case, two things can happen. They don't necessarily need to participate or partake in the activity, but you can also try to understand why they're not willing or not feeling safe enough to participate. Being able to hear the voice and opinion as to why they might not necessarily be psychologically safe in doing so could potentially help you understand what you can do to accommodate to their needs to make sure that they are feeling safe and willing to participate. I hope that answers your question, Kai.
Absolutely, that's right. I'd like to add on to that, that with a lot of the steps that we have here in GroupMap and what you see today, it's really about giving the facilitator that freedom, that flexibility, making sure that whatever map or workspace they create, it is suitable for the use case that they're applying it to. So that consent step is just as much about participant safety as anything else, really making participants feel as though it's a safe environment for them to share their honest opinion on things.
Amazing. Thanks, Brad. Coming up on the last 10 seconds here, final chance to put in your responses, and then we can do a quick review. Alrighty, let's look at below said. Alrighty, so how long have you been facilitating? So it looks like, wow, we have quite a range of experiences here. Someone doing for 1 year, someone doing it for 18 years. That is quite impressive. And beautiful. Biggest problem is keeping everyone equally engaged. Amazing. Hard to make everyone's voice heard. Beautiful. Getting so amazing. So it looks like the biggest problem is around engagement. So we will try and tackle that today, just to make sure that you can see everyone's voices are heard as well. And beautiful, amazing to see everyone is feeling pretty happy today. We love to see that. Smiles all around. Beautiful. Hopefully you'll leave with a smile at the end of this session as well. And a demo out of looks like a demo out of GroupMap, and do quite a few features. Amazing. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that sets the tone for today. So again, with those questions there, by all means, please keep putting them into the chat. We will attend to them as we can, as we go. And yeah, move on to the quick demo. So in terms of the next activity, and I'll bring you all across. Before we build our own superhero, I thought maybe let's just analyze one that we already know. So meaning Spider-Man. Now, if by any chance you by now don't have an idea of who Spider-Man actually is, I have left a couple links in there for you around the wiki page, and just a quick introductory video as to who Spider-Man is. But please let me know if you have any questions around that. But today, the subject is Spider-Man, and we are going to fill out a SWOT analysis template. So the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And what I'll do is move on to the continue to brainstorm step. So there have already been some contributions already, but what I'll do is just give us around 3 to 5 minutes. Just go 4 minutes. And what I want you all to do is, by all means, if you know who Spider-Man is, just put in the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and threats that you believe that you feel towards Spider-Man and what he has as strengths or weaknesses. And we'll go from there. So please feel free to put in your ideas and ask any questions you have. Amazing. I see some of those ideas coming in already. That is a very interesting weakness. I'd love to dig deeper into that. Venom and a few others can sneak past the spider sense. I would want to know, yeah, what other, should we say, enemies can do. So I'm going to put that as a comment. And if someone wants to or might have an idea as to who they are, please feel free to respond to that comment under the idea. Be interesting. Yeah, awesome, beautiful. Well, it doesn't seem like anyone is in New York today from us, so glad to see that we're all safe from any villains out there. But if anyone is in New York, best of luck. Hopefully Spider-Man will save the day very soon. A watch. Spidey has known to always be late to the action. Wow. Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. I think there's a question in there from Meg saying, if I ask AI agent, does my prompt and answer get shared to everyone, or is it just visible to me? Great question, Meg. So I will get to the AI agent very soon, but to answer your question very quickly is it is only available to the facilitator of the meeting, of the session, and it is up to you whether you decide to share that with the team or not, but it is, you maintain full control over that information and how you decide to share it or distribute it. Beautiful question. And we've got some comments in, perhaps only Gotham City is worse. Amazing. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna jump ahead here and take away from the last 30 seconds as we can, just for the sake of time. But pretty much what I'm gonna do is, rather than reading through every card as a facilitator, what I'm gonna do is run through GroupMap's AI grouping feature to cluster similar ideas together. So I'll bring you over to this next step, but this is why I'm sharing my screen, because as a facilitator, I will be the one who is able to see something like this. So on the top right there, if I go ahead and suggest groups, the AI in the background will run and very promptly suggest some similar groups based on the ideas that have already been submitted, as opposed to me running through them one by one. So in this case, for example, as a suggested title as core moral character, Spider-Man is has a kind, gentle heart, has a sense of what is right, and a good guy people can root for. So you can see that that very much matches the theme of being a moral character. So I can go ahead and accept that. Physical superpowers, not afraid of heights, super strong, can climb walls, spider sense, warns him before danger. So, for example, just to give you an idea of how much you actually have control over the AI's features. For example, I might not think that a spider sense or senses or spider senses are actually physical. So I can potentially remove this idea from this group, but still retain the ideas within this group and can match that and customize it the way I need to. So I can go ahead and accept those. And right, luckily as well, you can go ahead and reject and accept those, the ones you don't want. But for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to go ahead and accept all. And you can see that now all of these ideas are under one specific group. And some are still standalone ideas that you can still go ahead and then either select multiple across different regions and then group them together at the top there. So there's still a bit of a manual process should you decide to group them on your own or use AI to speed that process for you. Amazing. Any questions around that at all? Amazing. So what we'll do here is let's just look at the results based on a word cloud. So pretty much based out of the SWOT analysis, we can look at what the most occurring themes are. So for example, the bigger the word, the more that theme came up across the individual groups. And you can see at a glance where, there's real consensus, that this is the core of what GroupMap does. It gives everyone an equal voice and helps you kind of make sense of what the room is actually saying. So not one idea is buried and not one person dominates. Everyone's voice is heard, and any occurring themes or common themes are displayed to you in a word cloud, for example. And I can bring you all over to that step so you see it on your screen as well. Beautiful. Alrighty. So moving on to the next activity where we will be actually starting to build our own superhero. So by all means, think freely, no judgment here, but what powers do you think or would you feel that we should have as our new superpower? What superpower should we carry across? Think beyond the obvious ones and just really add whatever comes to mind, right? And again, I can bring you all here and add a timer for just roughly 2 minutes. And just be free. Add in any, no matter how, crazy, just put in any ideas, any superpowers you think that would be unique and that we can carry forward whilst building our superhero. So one thing about this map is it's more of a list map. It allows you to list and brainstorm ideas collaboratively in a list manner. So you can see the ideas as they come in one by one. I really like that one, being able to speak to spiders. I generally did not think of that, but yeah, fair enough. Turn into anything into gold. Yeah, I mean, we would pretty much all be rich if we did that, but yeah, that would be great. Yep, amazing. Yeah, eating 10 burgers in 1 minute. Yeah, that would be quite interesting. I don't know if anyone here can beat that, but you might be superior of your own if you can eat 10 burgers in 1 minute. Some pretty crazy ideas in there. Very nice. Amazing, amazing. Alrighty, coming up on the last few seconds here. But yeah, did anyone have a question at all?
No, I think we're okay. We can proceed.
Beautiful, amazing. So I generally have quite a few favorites in there, but unfortunately, we can't bring every single power to the list. So what we'll do is actually we'll vote on them. So you'll each have 3 votes, just to use them however you like. So what I'm going to do is take you to the vote step. I'll bring you all over here, and you'll all have 3 votes to vote on your top 3 voted ideas that you enjoy and like the most, that you think should be carried forward. So please, by all means, I'll give you a couple minutes here as well. Read through the ideas. If anyone really catches your eye, think one you really like them a lot, let's bring that forward and vote on it.
Just while we're waiting for folks to vote, Kareem, we've got a question from Kai. Does
Mm-hmm.
GroupMap have any profanity filters?
Amazing, great question, Kai. Yes, you do. So whether you are setting up a map or customizing a map from start or doing it in the process, I can actually do it live here. what we can do is, if you wanted to customize a map, you can. Let me save changes. Under the permissions and features, you can enable a profanity filter, just so that you can censor those, profanity, the ideas and comments from people. But great question. That is where you can do that. So what I can do this real time. I can save changes, do it there, and that is now applied to the ideas and votes that we put in. Beautiful. Alrighty. And how are people going with the voting? Is everyone all done with voting? All good there? I can see that most people have finished voting. Maybe Zhao and Zayu, we got a couple votes there. So that remaining. I'm not sure if you guys wanted to put in your ideas there before we move on. Otherwise, I'm happy to move. Beautiful. Alrighty. So what we'll do as well is not just vote on them, but let's also rate them on two main things, which is novelty and audience appeal. So this will just give us more than just a popularity metric. It would tell us why something really resonates with you or with someone at the end. So I'll bring you over to the rate step. And as you can see, for example, if we look at the wanting to be a waterproof as a superpower, we can rate each one based on novelty, whether it's how novel it actually is and how appealing it is to the audience, whether you think it's going to be very appealing or not. Please put in a rating, and I'll give you all like around 5 minutes there, just to get an idea of what it is, and we can look at the results afterwards. So I'll just give us a timer of, let's just say, 4 minutes. Amazing. A couple of questions in the chat as well. Is can we sort by votes? That is correct, yes. And you are well ahead of us today, Meg, but that is absolutely true. At the results step, you can sort by votes and you can sort by the way the ideas were suggested. So there are different sort features and sort metrics. You can do that at the results step, absolutely. In terms of randomly picking ideas, would you mind elaborating on that? Or are you hoping to just pick on certain ideas? Or are you saying, did you want to rating? Do we have the option to only rate the ones voted? So you can, and what we can do is show the ideas. So what you can do is, for example, show the ideas with the top 3 voted, the top 5 voted, top 10 voted. And for the sake of this, for example, I can say, show the top 5 voted ideas. And I can do it so that now all of you are only rating on those ideas themselves. So you don't necessarily need to rate every single idea. And great questions there. How's everyone finding the rating step? Any issues on that at all? Please open your mic, ask any questions. I'm happy to help.
Well, I can't think of any issues with the demo, but I noticed that we've got a real spider theme going on with participants today. I wonder if Spider-Man influenced a few folks.
I hope Spider-Man isn't necessarily holding you, at gunpoint here. Hopefully he didn't hear us and influence you in any way. But I guess, yeah, maybe Spider-Man is someone that all of us really resonate well with and just want to carry that forward. At least I hope that's the consensus there. Alrighty. Just out of interest in time, I might jump ahead and just move forward here, just to kind of show the results. So if I just move on to the results, just to see how each one has rated and voted for each one, what I'll do here is I will show all the top voted, say top 5 scored ideas for now. And it looks like, yeah, still on the side of Spider-Man. So if I quickly go through them, we can look at shooting acidic webs. So this looks like it will generally melt our enemies, which is quite an interesting thing to imagine here. But what we can see here as a facilitator is we can also see where different participants have rated each of these dimensions based on novelty and audience appeal. We get an average score for the total of all participants. Same with making a house out of webs, which would probably quite help us with today's current interest rates and standard of living. So that would be great. Can speak to spiders as well. Great average score, and all the same with all the other different submissions there. So you can see everyone will have their idea, and everyone will have the idea to vote on the top, I guess, resonated or resonating idea and carry those forward. That is great to hear. So what I'll do is also now introduce the GroupMap AI agent that helps us alongside this. So very quickly, what I'll do here is pretty much I can ask this AI agent pretty much anything. And one thing that Rohit mentioned earlier in his presentation, and I'd like to reiterate today, is that AI is not replacing your facilitative responsibilities here. It is seen as a co-facilitator, someone helping you facilitate this meeting, and speeding up that process and refining it based completely on what's on the screen and the ideas that have been submitted. So for example, I can ask him or ask AI, based on the top rated ideas, what name should we give the superhero? And let's see what interesting names AI comes up with.
While we're doing this, important to add that none of your data is used to train any AI models whatsoever. It's all private, all stays right here.
Amazing. Yes, beautiful. Thanks for that, Rohit. So these are some of the names that AI has suggested. Again, very, very spider oriented here today. Spider-Man's oriented, but is there anyone that would like to, I guess, nominate their preferred name for that one? We can take that forward. And is there any favorites?
I like the idea of Mind Spider.
Mind Spider.
I'd like to hear what everyone else has to say. Oh, we've got a question there. Are we naming a character or his abilities? Well, I guess characters are named after their abilities, aren't they?
In a way, that is very true, yes. And I mean, specifically for that one, we are asking AI, is that based on these capabilities, what name are we giving the superhero themselves? So we're naming the character here.
Mind Spider. Agreement on Mind Spider. Yeah.
We can take that forward, not a problem. All right. So Mind Spider is. So based on the next activity, we'll be quickly going through a mind map. So with Mind Spider in mind, what I'll do here, I'll put their name is Mind Spider. So what we're doing is, yes, people have already pre-populated this, and I'll bring you all into here, but we're actually just building the DNA, the full character of Mind Spider. So we'll just be looking at main 6 branches, which are powers, appearance, weakness, allies and enemies, mission, and origin story. Just adding ideas to each branch, and and just build on what others are contributing, right? We'll give each other a couple minutes just to say, hey, let's just look at how we can actually fully build this superhero and what they look like. Beautiful. I see some ideas already coming in as well. So again, just feel free to add to what's already there, and collaborate with everyone else and build on everyone else's ideas. Amazing. Yep. Looks like someone has already discovered that yes, you can actually attach images and GIFs and just customize each idea and card as you need to. So very much go on the attach, you can attach images, GIFs, files, links, just to kind of help facilitate the discussion around each idea. But yeah, I love the spider bite over there. Very, very thematic. And Rohit, do you have any famous or favorite superpowers of your own, or should I say superheroes of your own?
Favorite superheroes? That's a good question. Well, there are so many of them. I really do quite like Spider-Man, not just because he resonates with the people, but because he's fairly unique. I feel as though there are too many superheroes who default to super strength or super speed. Spider-Man is a spider, so he's cool in that respect. Maybe Ant-Man as well. It's an interesting superpower to have. How about yourself?
I myself have, quite a few. I mean, I've grown up watching the Avengers from when they were cartoons to when they come to movies. So, Iron Man, given the whole history and the build up to what happened at the end, that was a very good story for myself. So Iron Man is one of my favorites for sure.
Makes sense. They'll be hard to replace that generation of Avengers.
Unfortunately, yes.
But maybe what we're recommending here, we can send it over to Marvel and have them take a look at it.
You never know. GroupMap facilitated the creation of a very new superhero. You never know that. Beautiful. Alrighty, so I can see people ideas coming in. So again, out of the interest of time, I'll just move on to one thing or a couple things I wanted to show you today, which is an action step. So again, I'll bring you all over to here. And what we can do in an action step is pretty much assign action items or things for someone to do and to follow up on. For example, when it comes to, we already have one in here, time pause. I can click on that and I can see those. All right, well, based on this idea or this discussion, we want the marketing team to create a teaser content for pals. Right, so we can assign that, sorry to put you under the bus here, but we've assigned that to Rohit for the time being. And we need Rohit to create a teaser by the 30th of July, for example. So you can add multiple action items under an idea, assign them an assignee and a due date. Similarly, we've got one here, so born on another planet. We can launch a campaign. We have to launch a campaign around the origin story themselves. So again, we've assigned it to Jeremy, due on the 29th of July. So you can go around each idea and assign action items if needed, doing it that way. Beautiful. And what I can do here as well is go on and talk to the AI agent again. So I can tell it, based on the discussion so far, what might be missing from the design phase, right? What could be missing from the powers? What could be missing from the origin story? So you can use this AI agent to really help you understand and determine and look into the data at any point in time throughout your design and your session. So you can prompt at any time, and it will display ideas like this, such in terms of the development, the power, the practical details, the narrative elements, and so forth. All of these ideas you can bring forward into the actual map itself, based on the details that you can either, again, decide to disregard or bring into the map itself. Amazing. So now I'll move you on very quickly to a perceptual map. So in here, I'll just edit this to say now we have Mind Spider as our main superhero. And what we want to do into this perceptual map is, now we have a hero. We have their DNA, we have their background. So let's benchmark them, right? Now what this map does, it runs from slower to faster on one axis and weaker to stronger on the other. Now our hero, Mind Spider, sits at the center. So what I want you to do is just place a few existing superheroes of your own that you know, compared to Mind Spider. So for example, Hulk is seen as stronger and faster as Mind Spider. Spider-Man, since we're talking about him, seems he's faster and stronger than Mind Spider. So throw in a few others there based on some superheroes that are not there that you also know, and let's see how it compares to Mind Spider.
Just while we're letting folks do that, Kareem, I think we've got a few questions that have come through.
Sure, thank you. So from Jao, does the AI agent only have access to the information from the specific session, or can it reference past meetings? Great question, Jao. So the AI agent will only read and kind of look at the ideas and submissions of that specific map or workspace that you're in. You won't necessarily be able to import ideas or import kind of information from previous information to reference there, but it will be specific to that activity that you're running. And I think that answers Meg's question, is that can it also reference a different map? So yeah, it won't necessarily be able to, but because we are in a workspace, it will necessarily be contained to the context of this workspace, but not necessarily to specific maps. It will just be the one you're working on in that point in time. Amazing. Beautiful. So again, I'll quickly rush through to the next step, which is the positioning step of this perceptual map. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is purely based on what you think. Where do you think each of these superheroes rank against our new superhero Mind Spider? So for example, Iron Man, is he considered stronger or faster than Mind Spider? For example, I might think that he's much stronger, but a lot slower than Mind Spider. So I'm going to put him in that first quadrant there. So I'll give everyone a couple of minutes just to put in their ideas there, and I'll quickly show you the results afterwards.
I should also add, while we're doing this, that this is a fantastic example of how we prevent groupthink within GroupMap. So instead of everyone seeing where other folks might be positioning ideas, you have individuals who might otherwise be a bit quieter having to position things themselves. And so when it all comes together and we'll take a look at the results, we'll see that everyone's voice is equally heard.
Beautiful, beautiful. Couldn't say it better myself, Rohit. Thank you for that. Alrighty. So it looks like people are still positioning, so just give yourself another couple of minutes there. Then we'll move on to the results. So if you're wondering why I keep looking at the Teams tab there, because I can actually look at different participants in here, given that this is a non-anonymous map, but you do have the ability to create an anonymous map where you won't necessarily be able to see or link ideas and submissions to specific people, just to promote that psychological safety and hopefully promote that engagement as well for people to make sure that they are safe in submitting their responses there as well. But in doing so, I can also look at how many ideas people have positioned, and I can kind of look into say, hey, you have a last couple there to position. Let's speed that up or let's move forward. But for now, I think we've positioned them quite enough to look at the results. So I can move into the results tab, and what I wanted to show you here, won't necessarily go through all of them, but one is to look at where people on average believe our superhero Mind Spider actually ranks against everyone else. So for example, we can see that the Flash is a lot weaker, but a lot faster than Mind Spider, which is great. The Flash is the Flash for a reason. But if I look at the Flash, for example, what will also tell us is that orange dot there would represent the average positioning of the Flash in this mind map, because everything else around it would show us where individual people are actually positioning the Flash based on their perception of the Flash. So this, again, as Rohit mentioned, would show us exactly where everyone is participating and sharing their influence or discussion point around this, so that everyone's voice is heard and everyone's ideas are brought in. But then we look as a group, take the average of that positioning to take forward with us. And again, we can look at Morpheus, right? As an example, we can see where everyone has positioned Morpheus and the end average result positioning there.
Someone really likes Morpheus.
Yeah.
All the way at the top right. Yeah. Very strong, very fast.
Amazing. All right, but yeah, that was just an idea of showing you where how different positioning and different ideas can be generated. Just to look at how we, as MindSpider, compare to the different and existing superheroes out there. Beautiful. And I'll quickly run through the last activity here we have, which is just an empathy map. So at the center of it all, I'll bring everyone here. We have MindSpider. So very quickly, I was just hoping maybe everyone could add one or two ideas around MindSpider in terms of the things they, or he or she, can think and feel, can see, can hear, can say and do, and so forth. Just around, could be things around their emotion, their powers, their superpowers, their physical capabilities, all around that. Give yourself a couple minutes there, just put an idea or two, and we'll go from there. As an example, I've just put screams across dimensions is something that MindSpider can hear. Amazing quote there, thank you. I'm quite interested into the pain point at water. Is MindSpider allergic to water? Is he weakened by water? That is quite an interesting take on that one. No worries. Thank you so much for coming in, Jeremy. And well, I was going to do this at the end, but just a quick one as people need to leave. Rohit, if you wouldn't mind just sharing the GroupMap website, because if this is something that you truly want to take away and learn and do on your own, you can go through our website to sign up for either a one-on-one consultation as a thank you to everyone for joining today, just to help you set up your first map. but also to set up your own trial and really do you use GroupMap and try it on your own in your own time, and send in any questions as you go. But thanks again for everyone for coming in, and hope this was truly helpful. But we'll quickly finish off with the last couple ideas here, and we'll go from there. Family problems. Protect innocent people. Wants to make Uncle Ben proud.
I find that interesting because Uncle Ben is also a pain point. So what is MindSpider's relationship with Uncle Ben?
That's a very valid point there. Does he think and feel that Uncle Ben is a pain point to him, or that he wants to try and make him proud, but at the same time he can't? It's a interesting one to think about there.
You can see we're really getting into the mind of MindSpider.
What we can do is ask AI, what should we do about Uncle Ben? Let's see what AI says. Alrighty. Yeah, so okay. Well, AI is asking everyone, right? What specifically about Uncle Ben causes pain? Is it guilt, loss, unmet expectations? How does Uncle Ben influence MindSpider's decisions? So you can see AI actually does suggest quite a lot of few facilitative techniques and things we can take forward there. Would you have any ideas of your own, Rohit, there as to how we can solve the Uncle Ben problem?
I think the AI has gone and done exactly what it's supposed to do there, which is as a facilitator, if I'm a little stuck on the Uncle Ben problem, which I think I am, it's suggested to me how we can go to the group and say, hey group, can we investigate Uncle Ben further? Because this appears to be something that we need to investigate. So that's really cool. In terms of for MindSpider, I would recommend he goes to therapy. I think that's the find Uncle Ben.
All right, amazing. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. So from here, I'll just quickly take everyone to the group step, just to see by chance if there are any similar themed ideas around there. Hopefully, maybe Uncle Ben will come up as one of the family problems. We'll see. But yeah, so personal vulnerabilities, villains targeting loved ones, family problems, and so for me, for example, if I can accept that one and look at the personal vulnerabilities, I can, for example, include Uncle Ben in there, because that is clearly something that's affecting MindSpider very, very much. And but as you can see, even though AI has suggested those groups, I can still go in and group them myself, or have participants suggest a group as well. But from there, I'll move on to the results just to kind of see the final empathy map of MindSpider. Apologies. So these are the responses that stood out. So looking into and stepping into a perspective that isn't your own, you can see that as a group, as a larger community, there's a lot of wide range of ideas and thought processes that come into such maps and such designs and such sessions. And that's kind of what GroupMap helps point out, is that it welcomes ideas from everyone, takes everyone's ideas clearly. It doesn't necessarily shine the light on one person. It takes voices and thoughts from everyone and puts them together and puts it into a group thinking exercise, so you can all think together as well. And with that in mind, I guess I just want to say, congratulations to everyone. We have now created a superhero of our own called MindSpider. And whether, Disney or any other streaming platform really wants to take this and make them into a true movie or true character, we'll leave that for the powers above. But for now, this is MindSpider, the superhero that we have all created together today. And like I said, as people were leaving, the link is in the chat for you to go to look into GroupMap, really try to figure out and trial out the tool for yourself. I only showcased some of the main capabilities that GroupMap does, but there's still a wide area and range of features for you to use there. So please go ahead, book in that one-on-one session if you need any help with starting off with, creating the first map for you. Set up a trial, and by all means, reach out to us. Give us a call, an email saying, "Hey, we need help. How do you use this? We need these. We need how to use these features," and we'll be happy to help. Myself, Rohit, and the rest of the team. And yeah, I'll kind of leave it now, the last couple of minutes, for any questions, any issues people wanted to see, anything you felt that you still didn't understand. By all means, open up your mic, put the question in the chat. I'll be happy to help.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. I do think as well, Kareem, that whilst we wait for questions, it would be cool if we show folks the website so that they can see how to book those one-on-one sessions, just in case they're wondering.
Absolutely, not a problem. So yes, using that link in the chat, this is what the website will look like. So whether you wanted to start your free trial at the top, there will be a 14-day trial you can start off with, or book a free one-on-one session with the team to help you set up your first map or workspace for your next workshop or session. But by all means, read through. This is what the ideal workshop will look like, and what we actually did today. So by all means, read through the website, look through the different tools and templates that you can use, give it a shot yourself. And yeah, no, thank you all so much for attending today. And again, if there's any other questions, let us know. But no, we'll leave it there. Hope we've given you an idea of what GroupMap can actually do and how it can potentially help you and your teams. And once again, congratulations to all the winners. And in a way, you are all your own superheroes in a way for winning those awards and being amazing facilitators out there today. So thank you all again, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this one. And of course, congratulations to the IEF Facilitation Award winners.
That's beautiful. Thank you all. Catch you soon.
Bye-bye.